As in the top left-hand side, our red Terran player starting in this best of 3, it is going to be TY. TY who takes on the blue Zerg in the bottom right-hand side from the Afrika Freaks. It is soO. So, game number 1 of this best of 3, and well, soO already opening up with the gas pool initially, so gas pool to get us going. I guess the hatchery to follow up soon afterward, as we'll just have the refinery finishing up from TY in the main base, and a couple of workers jumping into that gas, jumping out. A little bit of fun to be had there. As that spawning pool about halfway along, the Overlord's still moving across. And yeah, the hatchery and the natural expansion, so very much, very standard stuff here so far, nothing too surprising just yet. As we'll be seeing our drone just going to be finishing from soO in just a few moments' time. SCV of TY coming down to drop down a command center, and we'll see where the game takes us. Obviously, Nightshade, if you go put gas in the pool early, maybe we see some roaches and some aggression to try and slow the Terran down before we get to that middling stage where they start to take over the map and they really get into a very good position, attacking all the time, able to deal a lot of damage, able to just push and push and push. As we do see, the Reaper of TY will go out down to the bottom right-hand side. A couple Lings of soO will come up the right as well and see where they can go. Going to make their way across through to the top side as the Reaper makes its way through the center and down in towards the natural and then toward the main base. So Reaper coming through there. The command center is setting up. Going to be done fairly shortly with the factory of TY also building. So again, build up, getting set to go. A couple of Marines coming out the front as well, as the reactor will drop down on the barracks. And just going to be seeing this SCV of TY ready to build a 3rd CC in the main base. So 3 CCs across the board. As we do have the reactor just built on the racks, the factory is going to hang out overhead, and the SCV of TY will go back toward the main as well. So on a couple of these workers back toward the main, and we'll see another mule dropping down as we've now got a starport in the main. So there's 3 CC eco-focus build on Nightshade, and even maybe just a cloakless Banshee to keep you safe here after going 3 CC. Of course, in Terran vs Zerg, there's a lot of ways for the Terrans to open up and get towards that mid-game point where they start pushing with Marines and the tanks, and they get very aggressive, and they stay very aggressive, and they just keep attacking, and they never stop. There's absolutely a mid-game where that kind of happens, no matter how you open, really. And this opening right now from TY is gonna, the setup right now from TY is gonna end up towards that point eventually. It's just going to take a different route to get there. With the extra economy early, you don't maybe need to harass so much. You're in a strong eco position. There's a few ways to look around this. As the Hellions make their way out down to the south, the hatchery set up on the bottom side, and a couple of Hellions to chase some Zerglings away. Some Lings chase back up the top. Supply depots drop down, and a tech lab on the barracks with the next Liberator about to pop up as well. So Lib going to be done very soon. The lair still dropping down in the main base also. The 2 Lings hiding off in the top right-hand corner. A lot more of these Hellions still out in the middle of the map, and seeing the stim pack building on the racks with 2 more racks on the way out. And a few extra SCVs all just producing, so it was just the Liberator. Try and get a bit of harassment on the map, and then just go straight into the bio beyond this. And soO. Lair again, quite far along right now. Has been really prioritizing this earlier lair today. So they did the exact same against Innovation and those TvZs. As the Hellions try and get in on top of the Queen there. Liberator will siege, and a few drones will start to drop very quickly. 3 drones right from the start. Gets a lot of them. I could have stuck around. I mean, would have took more damage, but could have cancelled a couple of building drones. But I don't think it's worth it. You don't know what necessarily is building there, so you're not actually, you know, completely certain exactly what's happening anyways, or if you're really denying anything that useful. As the armory sets up in the natural expansion, TY still needs to start 1-1 upgrades, though. You know, it's all well and good starting your armory, but if you don't have 1-1... I mean, maybe he just wants to go for like a very aggressive first push with the Marines and the Hellions morphed into Hellbats. There's no other reason for this armory to be so quick here. So yeah, it looks like he really wants to power up the first attack. He still has that Liberator alive and use that once again. He has, of course, been in the main and seen the faster lair, so he roughly knows what the plan is from soO. So here we go. I mean, it has to just be with these Hellbats, right? Like, that's the plan. Of course, I mean, at some point, TY still does want to start 1-1. He goes Drilling Claws now and Combat Shields. TY, 1-1, please. Oh, no. The more he goes into, like, other bits and pieces of this, the more I'm like, well, I think he's just not realized he's not building 1-1. Now he starts +1 attack. Can he go back to +1 armor? He does. Okay, maybe this was all part of the plan then. Maybe it was just timed out like this. It just feels like such a fast Drilling Claws. Bane's not ready from the start here. Zergling's committing in and they go down. A few Banes finish, but this isn't even before Bane speed is done. Hellbats actually do a lot of the tanking at the front there and will allow him to get rid of a couple extra Queens. Now more Banes showing up though. That will be the end of this. These final couple Hellbats going down. 4 drones killed. I think the Liberator getting in position on the natural while this happened. But I think in general, just a good trade from TY, right? The Hellbat soaking up Baneling shots is always going to be effective. Yeah, seems like we're maybe on the tail end of this, and this is starting to wrap up. There's aggression finishing. Let's see a few more Marines loading back into the medevacs. And the Ling's still hanging out in the center. 1-1 upgrades. On the way on the Evolution Chambers. Drilling Claws about to complete. And the 2 medevacs are going to come in towards the main base, so I'm going to start unloading, and Tachi and Drilling Claw Widowmine here is going to get burrowed very quickly. He's just going to unburrow, reburrow both of them, as he doesn't know quite what he wants to go off on just yet. We'll reburrow now, and we'll actually get a shot on the Overlord. This Widowmine here actually didn't do anything. It actually did very little, as the first Mutalisks arrive across the map, so we've not really seen these just yet. So the first time they show up, and they get already 10 workers. It's a pretty good start. It's a lot of damage done for TY as the Lings go running forwards. The Widowmine fires, and the rest of the Lings sitting here. Nice target fire. Takes down a Baneling. And TY will boost away up the left-hand side. 1-1 about to complete. The vehicle plating continuing on the armory. A few more mutas sneaking out. Extra Banelings in production. Mutas turn. Picking off a Marine already. Medevac gets hit. Takes some shots as well there. Just back down into the center. Is just going to see 1-1 still coming through. Couple medevacs TY will come out down the left-hand side. It's just going to be seen our Mutalisks from soO are going to go gathering up together. Out in the bottom left-hand corner. +1 vehicle plating coming up on the armory, so getting that set up as well. And you just do have the rest of these Marines unloading to the far left-hand side to the 9 o'clock. There's 1-1 upgrades, +1 flyer attacks. All getting set to go. Oh, and TY is just going to come pushing forwards. 2-2 still coming up on either side of this. Again, +1 flyer attack is going to be done on the Spire soon, and the Marines already coming in. Just going to get rid of a couple creep teamers here. So 2 creep teamers already going down. Mutalisks of soO will come back across into the center. These Banes all going to join up together as well. Just going to be having our Marines, sour to mine. Setting up. A few Bane's going to go running by, but the Sensor Tower, of course, is a great investment. Allows you to just handle that very quickly. They blow up a missile turret. The best they're going to do. They're not getting out of there alive, so making the most of that is he does well fly in towards the engineering base, and that's actually going to be an amazing shutdown on the +2 attack upgrade. So already the +2 attack has to be repaired by SCVs, but yeah, it will go down. And that's a big loss here from TY. It's kind of funny as well, because +2 attack is way more important than +2 armor, so soO kind of wins the 50-50 on which of the engineering base he gets. I was kind of wondering. I guess the new engineering bay doesn't take that long to build. I think if this was any, if this was any closer, these upgrades haven't started. I think maybe TY would have just cancelled +2 armor and started +2 attack there, because again, the more important upgrade usually shines. But I think he realizes it's just a little bit too far along for that to really be justified in any way. As these mutas come around the top side, and they're going to go diving in. First missile turret goes down, second missile turret picked off as well. A few SCVs being killed off. Again, these middleists are just causing so many issues here for TY. Really forcing him to stay back home and really giving soO so much freedom out on the map. Flies through a Widowmine there, but that's just one middleist lost. And obviously, look at all of this creep spread that soO is getting up. So that makes it very difficult for the Terran to commit to any of the pushes they usually like to get going here on Nightshade. And you're just already on 5 bases here as soO. Your economy is great. TY playing a game, obviously, where he takes 4 bases as well. He never actually took the 3rd base in the forward position. So from the very beginning, TY said, actually, I don't want to play like a super aggressive style. I don't want to just attack and attack and attack. I want to play a bit of a longer game here, perhaps. But that bit of a longer game, I think, is maybe coming back to haunt him a little bit, as you do see some more Banes morphing in the bottom, in the center. There you go, Ling Bane Muta gonna come rampage and forwards. A couple of tanks getting picked off. soO feeling very good about committing to a fight. Off creep into the Terran space is just gonna get the planetary fortress. 27 SCVs go down with this. And soO's gonna come running up this ramp as well and in towards the natural expansion. Banes blown up everywhere. GG is pulled from TY. And that will be soO taking game 1 of the best of 3. Kind of out of nowhere. Just sort of jumps on TY and takes advantage of all that muta. Bottom left-hand side. Our blue Terran player. Down a map. It's going to be TY. And in the top right, our red Zerg from the Freak of Freaks, soO. Second map of our best of 3. As we get this underway, little drones popping out, racks down, gas building. soO's hatchery will drop on the natural expansion. Just seeing those drones mining away comfortably. Rax is continuing along and will be about halfway done so far. There's the hatch, the gas, and the spawning pool all getting set up from soO. The early stages. Reaper on the way from TY. Board in the upper left-hand corner, and CV getting out onto the map. So SCV to the upper right as the Reaper is about to finish up here from TY. And yeah, just double checking that this is going to be a hatchery first, which it is. No surprises there. Just means that some of the aggressive builds soO could maybe go for otherwise are obviously now off the table. Things that TY doesn't have to concern himself with when it comes to potential responses, potential things to worry about, and all that kind of stuff. So doesn't have to worry too much there, as that Zergling speed building on the main base. This Overlord of soO will be moving out. Let's see if he's just going to keep on patrolling. Reaper is wanting to come back around there, it looked like for a moment, and TY just going to play 3CC again. So there's something about the Terrans today that really enjoying the 3 command centers. We've seen it a lot more today than I'd say is usually seen. Maybe just one of those days, maybe just the way they like to play against soO. That's such a thing as well, right? Maybe they feel as though when they play soO is just very good against other builds, or maybe he's a bit worse against the 3CC from the start builds, and that can absolutely be a reason to, you know, decide to play one way rather than another. Reaper through the center. Takes the watchtower. A couple of Hellions building up on the factory. Just going to see how Barracks is flying and is coming overhead to give the vision. Push that Overlord away. This Overlord already being pushed back. Second Marine showing up, and we'll see this Overlord continue to take some damage. Viking on the way up. Hellions in production still. A couple of Zerglings already going down as you have the Reaper gets caught. And the Marine also out here. A couple more Zerglings going down too. And those couple Lings will just get out to the watchtower. 7 extra drones on the way up. Hatchery will finish on the 3rd base. I'm just going to see that Ling of soO continue out down on the bottom side. Let's just have the Tech Lab starting up on the Barracks. Again, the Viking finishing too. So a little bit of a difference this time around. Just going Viking. Just going to go and clean up some of these Overlords. I kind of like the kind of style that TY went for last game. I kind of like the way he set up. Oh, do you not see that? Damn, this Overlord's getting out of there for free at the moment. I kind of like the kind of build he went for. It's a little bit quirky, a bit different. Definitely one of those things that can, you know, definitely one of those stars that can give you a bit of an advantage out of nowhere. He's doing it again. Fast Armory. Okay. It's actually really unfortunate not to see this Overlord. I think he just thinks, how could it be there? Oh, that's actually crazy. It's in the... this Overlord! It's like he's got an invisibility cloak. What's going on? Alright, well. If I get into the main, there's going to be a Hellbat attack off the back of 3 CC. Obviously, maybe you catch the Zerg being quite greedy at this sort of point, so maybe there's some potential there. There's going to be 4 Hellions into the main base, joined by a Viking. The rest of the Hellions are actually still just back at home, defending. We'll see if they actually want to go. I mean, they should go across, right? The whole point of this is the multi-prong makes this scary. I can't believe this Overlord survived to become an Overseer to now fly into the main base. That is actually just crazy. This is just going to be a straight-up Hellion drop for the moment. Doesn't even need a morph in Hellbats as there's no defense in position. And you will get 5 drones. 1 Hellion just getting caught by the Zerglings. And now he's going to morph them into Hellbats in the corner. And, well, get a little bit of micro there. Saves the first one. Now 5 Hellbats pushing up the ramp towards the 3rd base. Queens have a lot of transfusions here, though. It feels unlikely they're going to be able to... Well, these Hellbats are going to be able to do too much against this many Queens, and they decide the same sort of thing. They back away for a little while at the very least. Viking did land in the main. Queens trying to get on top of the medevac. Nearly caught a couple of the Queens over here, but just not quite enough. Now the Liberator sieges up at the same time in the natural expansion, and we'll get a few drone kills before soO is really able to react. It's going to be 5 going up to 6. I mean, he has units in position here, so the Queens will eventually get the kill. Just took a while. And TY comes out of this in a very... It's one of those weird spots where, like, he did damage, but he never really did an overwhelming amount of damage anywhere. If you look at what was lost, the Terran play obviously lost a lot more than the Zerg here early. I think I like it for soO, because I think yes, he takes some damage, but he cleaned up so much of what the Terran player made in the early game, that now... Gee, are you just not safe? What else is going to come your way anytime soon? You've got to know that the Bioforce, you know, they might have Stim right now, but he's not going to have the racks on time to really start building units. All these racks only just now finished in reactors, right? So I think it gives soO this kind of layer of safety for the next few minutes where there's just no more units on the map for the Terran. And that gives you some time, and, you know, the mutas can then keep track, and it gives the mutalist count a chance to get up. And now when the mutalist count gets built up, then you can come across and get so much more done. Second Liberator is going to catch soO off guard here. That's interesting as well, right? Viking into 2 Liberators is a lot of early game starport units, so there's a lot of investment into them starport units and slows down a lot of what else you would like to build at the same time. This Liberator going to go flying will distract the mutas for a little while longer, and the mutas will get the kill. Liberator just vanishes into midair, one of the magical tricks of a Liberator when dying. Be cool if it was able to do that before it died and it just popped up somewhere else, still alive and still healthy, but unfortunately, unfortunately, I guess StarCraft 2 is not quite that broken at the moment. Moves down into the center, picking off a Hellion on the watchtower. A few Marines pushing forwards, and the mutas do get away. Now the muta's going to relocate out down to the bottom side. It's going to see a couple of SCVs being picked off. Hellions already taking some hits here. A couple of SCVs going down. One more melee upgrades coming up, plus one flyer attack on the Spire as well. And all of these Mutalisks from soO out into the right side of the map. The Overseer joining up with them. Yeah, a lot of Marines of TY just going to join into the center here. So Marines will get healed up a little bit. Mutalisks back into the center, and still just seeing the drilling claws coming up. Plus one vehicle plating, plus 2 attack on the engineering bay. Comes in, gets to the center, and takes that watchtower. The Hellions in the middle there for a moment. One Mutalisk already goes down, and now the other Mutas will be pushed away into the middle of the map again. A couple extra refineries and turrets coming up as the Lingbane Muta army will get to the top side. Station bit from soO on the side of the third base. I'm just going to be seeing again a lot more Lingbane morphing at the moment. A lot of Banelings coming into play as the Mutas go to the upper left. Another hatchery on the top side. 12 o'clock position being taken. Or still being produced also. There's a few creep teamers going to be making their way in a few different directions also. Scans go down, one to the top right, far right. Keeping track of that there at the moment. We'll just see these queens coming through and injecting onto the top side hatchery. Hive on the main base will continue through as a couple of creep teamers going down. Banes are going to come running forwards and going straight after these Hellbats. Marines continue to pull back on the left-hand side. Thought shot good initially. More Marines showing up and getting another Baneling or two. So the rest of this continue to go down. The Lings continue to chase Mutas, Banelings all the way across. It is able to get straight on top of those Medivacs there, and all of these Marines pulling back around down the bottom. soO just jumps on this, and TY not able to do anything just yet. Widowmine's coming straight into play, and they are going to get blown up. A little bit of whatever they can reach, even more Banelings in production. Bang going to continue up. Creep teamers pressing forwards, and the rest of us joining together. We do just see that burrow upgrade coming in on the Hive. As got a lot of bio still pushing into the middle here, taking that watchtower for a few moments. Yeah, Lings and Banes all the way out up to the top. SCVs are going to get mining away. Still, this Lingbane Muta army wanting to come down and try and fight. This is the thing. It just feels like soO gets so much control early game in all of these CVTs, and then it just feels like the Terrans are just never able to really do anything. Let's see what happens here. These Banes are just trying to roll on forwards. Well, they mostly hit Marauders. There's going to be Marines in the back, but is it enough anyways? The Mutas were maybe able to, should have been able to come into this fight a little bit sooner, because there was actually just a clump of Marauders nowhere near Marines, and those Mutas would have helped a lot there, and then the Banes could have targeted down Marines instead. I don't know what the Mutas were up to in the meantime. I thought maybe they were going to go and try and get this orbital command, but no success there, as TY does have the bottom side 5 bases up and running. So unlike in soO versus Innovation, soO is not able to deny bases out to the bottom side of the map or anything. Lings, Banes, all of this join up together and readying to go in towards this, I guess, base number 6, really. soO has just got a queen that's actually injecting on this hatchery as well, by the way, so he's very ready to just have this base and this location in general fought over. Of course, if the Terran is going to focus on the left side, soO will expand to the right, and that should give him some freedom to take a bit down over there. First couple of Lings coming through, the Banelings rolling forwards, the Mutas will pull back. And again, a couple of Ultras just continuing on in from soO right here. Marines will find the right side base. TY staying active over there, not just going to let soO expand for free. Although now these Marines surrounded, and the Medivac jumping into the main base. There's an Ultra nearby, so unlikely to really find much with that either. soO goes to the right though. It does clean up area for this base on the left side to be taken. So both players losing a base that they've just recently gotten set up. And soO will continue to chase on forwards here. So Widowmine he just doesn't see, so he can't get rid of very easily. Meanwhile, Baneling's going to the bottom side. 6 o'clock base, and already SCV's going down. Planetary Fortress taking a lot of damage. Oh, the Widowmine gets a few more Zerglings on the side there as well. This Widowmine of TY is going to be finishing up. 19 workers killed so far. It's very gnarly. Widowmine goes off once again. Overseer will get hit. And Lings come in, able to pick that off. Another couple of Lings going down. Midders will come in to clean up too. And all of these Lings continuing forward. Sensitile gets picked off. Banes are going to come rolling through this. Trying to go in after these SCVs. 16 workers dead. So a lot of workers going down as we do see our 3-3 upgrades finishing for the Terran. When 3-3 is finishing for the Terran after 3-3 of the Zerg, though, you've got to ask some questions about how this game's going to end up. soO has a bank, he's got ultras. Obviously, the next step of this is to make corruptors, but that's only if there's starting to be a response from the Terran to the ultras. Right now, our Terran player TY is just continuing to build bio, mine, and, well, really not much else. Riddler's still out to the right. There's Kling's Banes. And the ultras join up in the center. Hatchery on the left side of this here. A couple of Banes come crashing through. +3 flyer attack on the Spire. That's on the bottom side. A couple of Lings show up. The SCV will get picked off. Taking away this command center. Banes also onto that left-hand side. So, well, across the board, economy of TY is falling apart. A lot of damage being taken. Now we've got Lingbane Ultra Muta gonna run towards this. He has to be careful of the Thors. There's a couple of them now focusing these Mutas down, but what is there to save the Thors? Not really a lot. This entire mineral line, I mean, there wasn't even anything left on the mineral line, just the orbital to lift up and fly away. Mutas will latch onto that, go for the kill. Apparently some Widowmines here helping to get rid of some Ultralisks, so TY finding something of a cleanup to the bottom side, at least in protecting, well, the base on the bottom. This one is relocating, so a new base coming up. Trying to break up this ramp as the Mutas will come and join in. Getting the Ultras through on top of these tanks especially is really nice. Gets some swipes off, cleans up. And Balin's being absorbed by the tanks in the center as well, as the Mutalists are going to split up and try and fight against the Thor. Trying to target down the medevac. Will get the medevac, but they clump up again. Just one other medevac will get the Thor this time around, but time to leave, I think, until reinforcements arrive. As TUI has already taken a bit of a beating, and soO, if he just rebuilds and goes again, TY might not be maxed out, and that might be the start of where TY really begins to crumble in this game too. Widowmine's pressing forwards, a couple more off to the right. 3 more Ultras in production. Mutas, Banes all being brought in here, pressing forwards. Widowmine shot onto the Banelings, which do finish morphing in again. They're going to go rolling down, and Ultras continuing forwards, going to jump on this siege tank. 7 SCVs killed as on the bottom side. The Zerglings run in and they pick off this, they pick off a bunch of workers. 7 workers is obviously huge, and now the rest of the Lings off the left side, they'll get picked off as well. Suhi, I think, is having a pretty good time as he comes down to the bottom, maxed out. It's not a fight he wants to take, but he's now building Infestors, so even adding in more ways, more tools to try and take down this TY army. Rest of the bio still pushing up this right-hand side. Ultras getting themselves ready for a fight if needed. Mutalists will fly on in. Here we go. Ultras and Lings running down this ramp. They're just coming through and targeting down what they can. Finding a couple of these tanks already, to be fair. They're doing a pretty good job of this, and well, again, I think soO's just fine, right? Because every time he takes a fight, he's coming out 10 to 15 supply further ahead than he was before. And, well, a little bit supply block this time. Maybe lost a few too many overseers running into these. Of course, TY is, I mean, the issue is he just never moved off the bio army. And you could argue, well, you know, build Liberators, build Ghost, but did he have a chance to? I mean, there's a point where he's on 5 bases, yes, but I feel like the entire game he's been under so much pressure, and he's been taking so many, you know, he's been forced into so many fights. I mean, now TY is going to dip below 100 supply if he's not careful, and I mean, less than 100 supply against a 170 Zerg who is still maxing out. soO just has economy for days. gives it up there as the meters were again pushed back, but at the end of the day, he's drawn it out for not really much else to be done. soO takes it 2-0 and will take another victory in the WardiTV Spring Championship.